If you saw my last video, you know I spent a wild week in Florida. After my time in the swamp, it was on to Miami. And let's just play a game of word association. What's the first thing you think of when I say Miami? Why, the ancient Spanish monastery, of course. Miami is a city with multiple personality disorder, and we're gonna explore them all in my very own walking tour of Miami. I wish I was joking. I really drove straight from the alligator farm to South Beach. Stop number 1. You already know your boy had to walk up and down the iconic Ocean Drive. Lots of interesting hotels, restaurants, and clubs. Let's meet the cast of characters. Barbizon, not to be confused with the predatory modeling/talent agency for children. You gotta say no. I really appreciate the simplicity and honesty of the Beach Park Hotel. It is a hotel by the beach across from the park.
Groundbreaking.
This little restaurant here is called CJ's Crab Shack. Let me tell you, nobody in all of Miami has more crabs than CJ. And that's the CJ promise. You come to hang out with CJ, you're gonna get crabs. The Avalon. This is Miami in a photo. Quintessential South Beach.
How it feels
to be in Miami. The entire boulevard is just littered with iconic historical institutions like CVS. This fine establishment is called Wet Willie's. Do not order the house special here. Cool eating contest alert over at the Pelican. If you can swallow a whole live fish in 2 gallons of seawater, you eat free. This spot is called the Clevelander, only in Ohio.
Swag like Ohio.
Alright, Ocean Drive, check. But this is South Beach, Miami. So, as the incomparable Nicki Minaj once said,
let's go to the beach, let's go get our work.
It was actively getting dark. The beach was really clearing out. Was it a mistake to go to the beach on this day at this time? I don't know. We'll see what happens and you tell me. Have you ever been to a science museum and done one of those wind tunnel things? That was sort of the vibe. Mind you, this wasn't exactly a sunny Miami day. This was the view as I was driving into the city. Maybe not a relax at the beach type of day. And yet, I persisted. I said, let's walk back to the car down the beach in my sneakers. I'm sparing you most of the audio. The wind sound is just absurd. It got so dark so fast. Long hair don't care, looking like The Grudge. I got 10 minutes into what would end up being a 20-minute, 10th of a mile walk. I started to freak out a little bit. I'm trapped on Miami Beach. Call 911. Please send help. Do you know what? We took the route ill-advised, and we saw some stuff. Oh my God. They doing that nasty over there. Some of it was scary. People were listening to country music. Some of it was inspiring.
Something LGBT just happened to me just now.
So, would I recommend visiting South Beach in Miami? Well, I don't think I did it right, and so I'm not comfortable answering that question. Next! Across the bridge into Miami proper, and parked in this acid trip of a garage, just surrounded 360 degrees and these crazy sculptural elements that are both literally and metaphorically lit. We are boots on the ground in the Miami Design District. I must confess, I'm not just here to walk around, I'm here on a mission. No, not that kind of mission. Believe it or not, it's even weirder. I'm on a mission to find a magic glowing orb. It's advertised all over Miami, and I have good intel that this is the neighborhood to find it in. And this neighborhood has all of the high fashion label stores, you know, yours. I feel very out of place. Not least because 5 hours ago I was doing this, and it probably smelled like swamp water. But that didn't stop me from peeking in at some store. I mean, look at Balenciaga, there's no clothes. They blew all their budget recreating Harry Potter.
Havana, Balenciaga.
The Fendi store is inexplicably painted SpongeBob yellow. It's actually really upsetting to look at. That said, this was like a little corridor of fun in what is otherwise a very serious area of the city. I mean, look at this. It's like a little swing set, but there's like a Da Vincian flying contraption on top. I am a big fan of doing too much, of saying, yeah, we're not just doing a regular swing set. We're also gonna do all this mess. I love it. There is security everywhere. Like, what are they guarding? The trees? Okay, wait, this is relatable content. That feel when you forget the middle part of your torso? Dope. Classic. I do not understand the physics of these statues, but that's okay. That is not my job. I'm just here to walk around and be goofy. Mannequins should always be a reflection of the customer base. So, you know, this one's just acting normal. This one's sort of clutching their purse and holding onto their wallet as if to say, oh God, it's a poor person. I've heard they steal. This next one, this is a spy store. This is a store for spies. A place where you can get your spy briefcase, spy suitcase, any type of spy case you might need to be a spy, you can buy here. I don't know the full story of what's happening here, but this is either a standoff or a handoff. Like 3 mannequins are either walking away with bags or in bags. Listen, I know what you're thinking. What in the Willy Wonka blue light special is going on here? Blue lights are apparently scientifically proven to help reduce crime, but it only works on people who aren't stubborn like me. I wasn't planning to do crime today, but I'll be damned if I let a little light tell me what to do. Okay, yes, that's all fun and fancy, but all the shiny, pretty things are distracting us from our mission. At this point, I've walked the entire circuit. I've pretty much seen everything in the Miami Design District, and I don't know if you noticed, there's no orb. I'm beginning to think my intel was wrong. Google is a liar. Just when I had given up hope, I was walking back to my car. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a little glint at the end of this little narrow street. Walked out into a courtyard and voila, there she blows. Every bit as magical and beautiful as I had hoped. This is Fly's Eye Dome by Buckminster Fuller. Pause. We are just not naming people like we used to. Probably for the best. The dome was found, mission accomplished. The last thing to do was enter this portal to my new life. And it's actually just the entrance to a parking garage. Just goes to show, nobody's doing parking garages like Miami. Alright, that's a wrap on day 1. I was trying to get a final shot of the Miami skyline until I was so rudely interrupted by police responding to the scene of a crime. And all jokes aside, that was actually really scary because I was just down there. That's where I mugged that guy. Good morning to Little Havana. I wanted to stop here in the morning because I wanted a Cuban breakfast. What is a Cuban breakfast, you ask? I don't know, but I got empanadas and coffee. And that was Cuban enough and breakfast enough for me. I went to Cafe Versailles, which self-describes itself as the world's most famous Cuban restaurant. It's trademarked, so it has to be true. This place was poppin'. It's giving, should have called 2 days in advance to make a reservation. I got my goodies and my Cafe Cubano from the walk-up counter, and I went straight to my car where I promptly spilled it all over the dash. From what I could taste left in the cup, it was delicious. You guys, I'm gonna cry. And the empanadas, that crunch, you better stop. You better stop right now. That's good. Very delicious. And I would have gone back and gotten more right then and there, but time is a ticking, and we got a whole city to see. Gotta give a quick shout out to La Carreta. It's gotta be tough to be known as the Cuban restaurant across the street from the world's most famous Cuban restaurant. But look at this. All throughout the neighborhood, there's just these giant roosters. That'd be fun to do a little scavenger hunt. So I went on Google and I searched huge Miami near me. And that was something different. Woohoo! 10 out of 10. Would absolutely recommend Little Havana. I think the thing to do is to take a walking tour. You'll hear the history of the neighborhood, sample all types of foods, watch them make cigars, all that jazz. But hey, if you're on a budget and short on time, swing by the walk-up counter at Cafe Versailles, get some empanadas, and dump a bunch of coffee on the electronics in your car. Up next, Wynwood. How much wood would a Wynwood if a Wynwood would experience extreme gentrification? Exciting developments, everybody. Your favorite corner store is now a brand new condo. It only costs
$1 million.
Wynwood is the spot, my dudes. This is the vibiest, the chillest, the coolest neighborhood. I even met the chairman of the Board of Tourism. Hey brother, welcome to Wynwood. Recreational marijuana isn't legal in Miami, but you could have fooled me. You get a medical card and you get a medical card. Everybody gets a card. This whole neighborhood has chronic osteoporosis. And we love that for them. The marquee tourist attraction in this neighborhood is Wynwood Walls. It's basically a contained, concentrated version of, what you experience in the neighborhood as a whole. You pay your $12 entry fee, and then you just go in and you walk around and you see the sights and you take your selfies and you have a wonderful time. And that's exactly what I did. I paid the $12. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. You wouldn't steal a car and you wouldn't steal a peek at the Wynwood Walls, because that's stealing, and stealing is against the law. This was a beautiful, thought-provoking art piece. The outside is really just slacked over with gold, very beautiful. Looks expensive, but then the inside is just literally garbage. And that's relatable content. Truly, the best thing to do here is just walk around. You are surrounded by world-class art. And there's always something freaky going on.
What was that? Okay, James.
And now this is where Wynwood gets a little tricky on you. From the outside looking in, you're thinking, oh cool, like a local sneaker shop. Maybe there's somebody's family-owned business. No, it's a Foot Locker. It was especially popping on this day because it was Smorgasburg, Miami. It's a food festival with just the absolute worst name I've ever heard. The combination of smorgasbord, the Swedish word for like a buffet and feast, and fatberg, as in a mass of congealed substances clogging up the sewer pipes. Terrible name.
Something else.
NFT culture is alive and well in Wynwood. It seems to be deeply connected to street art culture. I know almost nothing, but I know this is part of it. Bored Ape, more like boring ape. Oh, you trade NFTs? Get a real job. All right, we got the icon warning. All right, we're not legally required to blur people's faces because this is all in public, but I want to protect the identity of this queen that is walking barefoot at 12 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. You'd better be a fuck. I spent a solid 20 minutes trying to connect the dots here. I think these are all Miami-based celebrities. All I can say is I hope to God that this Will Smith endorsement was post-slap. Smack cam. Honestly, Gelato Model might be the only career option he has left at this point. Alright, we're putting on our CIA hat for a minute. Remember that freak we saw earlier? And mind you, that is the highest compliment from me. But look, this must be the artist making it, right? Wrong. This is at Toaslam, aka at The Real Grinch, aka Felix J. Hernandez. And he is adding collage to these art pieces that are done by this man, whose name is Michael Addis, aka Addis8989 on Instagram. I know I've previously reached out and said the CIA should hire me, but I am the CIA. Don't test me. Pro tip, guys, don't get lost. The detour here is just a mess. I was trying to be a good citizen and follow the signs. Cut to me spinning in circles in that corner for 20 minutes until somebody finally came and pulled me out. I love the pieces that are just like collage on crack. This must be what it feels like to be one of the worms in Lisa Frank's brain. There's really two main competing styles in the neighborhood. There's works you can tell are by lifelong dedicated graffiti artists, and then there's like wall prints that were probably thrown together by the summer intern at wallpaper.com. Sort of a corporate friendly, inoffensive, watered down version. And you know what? They're both valid and they're both here. I was trying to figure out if I like this one. I don't think I did. But it says the word fun, so it has to be fun. The summer intern at wallpaper.com wouldn't lie to me, would they? This is the perfect juxtaposition of the two. So on the bottom you got like real graffiti, and then on top I think this is just a Microsoft Word template. This was my favorite wall out of the whole neighborhood. It's got it all. Chrome boot, pimp cat, demon baby. The further back you go, it just keeps getting more and more disturbing. It's kind of like history in that way. All right, we're losing daylight, and I still have one more thing on my to-do list. And that is repenting for my sins. There's no better place in all of Miami to do that than the ancient Spanish monastery. I will say, coming here straight from Wynwood, the artwork here is a little more twisted.
Oh my God! What is that?
How's your head?
I haven't had any complaints yet.
Because I don't have one. Okay, yes, we're here for the goofs and the gaffs and the laughs, but we do just gotta shout out that this is probably one of the most beautiful, peaceful places I've ever been. This was my favorite spot out of the whole complex. You get the beautiful sound of the trickling water feature, and then this is also where they got the holy water cake stand. Listen, monks, it's the couple of boys. Every night is a boys' night at the monastery. And I think I witnessed a miracle. Clearly somebody has gotten up out of this wheelchair and walked. Unfortunately, they didn't actually make it that far.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
There's this weird thing they keep doing here where they have all these statues of Jesus behind literal bars, behind lock and key. They have our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in jail. Free Jesus. These ancient Spanish architects really like to use the nook and cranny technique. All these little offshoots and rooms and secret hallways and areas for you to get lost in thought, lost in prayer, or just straight up lost. This was my favorite statue of Jesus. First of all, the only one not behind bars, not in a cage, not in prison. We love to see it. Second, it's kind of doing a sassy little pose.
Nothing, period.
Yes, God. Alright, everybody hold on to your butts, because I think I discovered a new conspiracy theory. So this statue, right, has a very goofy hat. And that instantly drew my attention. I was going, tell me about this hat. And I was like, it's sort of like a loose interpretation of a chef hat. And that got my brain a spinning. Why are we sort of referencing chefs at the ancient Spanish monastery? What are some famous chefs? Why, Pasquale, of course, the man famous for putting the cheese in Chuck E. Cheese pizza. I was looking into Pasquale, looking at pictures of him. He's kind of always doing the Nazi salute. It's like got me thinking, okay, so there's this Italian fascist, but what do Italian fascists and the Nazis have to do with the Catholic Church in Spain? Uh-oh. This is the missing link. Pasquale was a high-ranking Nazi official smuggled out of Europe by the Catholic Church, came to America by way of South America, founded Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is the Fourth Reich.
Yo, he know too much.
At that point, I really needed some fresh air, so I went out to walk the grounds, and I found this enchanting pathway. Now, the footage looks beautiful, but you gotta know, every step I took, I can just hear small creatures scurrying through the grass and the underbrush. It spooked me a little bit. I felt like I was in that scene in Jurassic Park. I was about to freak out, but then I remembered it was totally fine. It was just friends playing a goof, wrestling each other in the grass at night. Everything ended up fine, and there's nothing to worry about. At the end of this pathway, you come up to this labyrinth. Of course, sort of a shout out and a reference to the first depiction in media of biblically accurate angels. Got a good look at that, and I said, you know, I think I'm gonna head out now. It's time to go home. I am very proud to say, you know, we made it 24 hours in Florida, and I was not murdered. I was not dismembered. I was not fed to a tiger. That's good. Let's stop there. Why tempt fate? I've certainly learned a lot over the last 24 hours. CJ has crabs. Looking at a rainbow can make you gay. It's actually really easy to lose your deposit on a rental car. Wanting to smoke is the leading cause of osteoporosis in Miami-Dade County. And the Nazi escape paths were called rat lines for a reason. Wake up, America! Most importantly, I got to spend this time with you and experience Florida before, well, you know.
Dive!
Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more amazing videos. Goodbye.